So before we continue on with the recording or with the video, I need to explain a few things before we get into it. So what you're about to see is me going into the Clash trial of chapter 2, and throughout the entire video, you know how I usually take about a break after like 1 hour of recording? Well, I did not do that this time, and because I recorded at such a strange time, my face cam lighting goes very wonky and it's not the best lighting, but hey ho. So I recorded this part like all in one go, and it was not very good for me because yeah, I got very exhausted at the end, and it's genuinely just not a good thing to record for that long all in one go. And the reason why this happened is because I was under the assumption that you could not save at all during the Clash trial, but I've discovered that you can indeed save, and I've even tried it myself with like a separate save, and yes, you can. I legitimately was under the assumption that if you're not in gameplay, like you're not like sort of like looking around the room or moving around, if you're in character dialogue, you cannot save your game. I was under that assumption, and I've even tested it out myself literally just now. You can save even in dialogue, and which makes most of this video a little bit of a mistake, but me playing the game wasn't a mistake, me recording the game wasn't a mistake, it's just how I did it. That was a bit of a mistake. Why hello there everyone, I'm Bolts and welcome back to Dangit Grampa, and we're about to go into the second Clash trial, and I will admit I was dreading this moment because as you've seen from the other Clash trial, it took like almost, I think, 2.5 hours, maybe 3 hours, I can't remember how long it took, but apparently this one's going to be much longer, so I've been advised to spend about 2.5 hours to 3 hours on this, only because there is no saving involved, which is just baffling in my opinion. And you've also noticed how the lighting is very bad, and I extremely apologise for this. This is the only time I'm able to sort of record the game at this time, especially for this long, because I don't have any other time available for me to do it. So this is like the only time I have available. So I do apologise if the lighting goes extremely badly. As long as you can still see me, I guess it's fine. But yeah, we're about to go into the Clash trial. Now I would admit, it's been... Wait, what the hell? What's going on with the lights? Wait, hang on. The lights are very... actually, this light... Wait, hang on. Is it all the other... No, it's just this light is acting very weird. I don't like it. But anyway, yeah. So... It's weird how the previous Clash trial, I knew it was Leon going in, and I was just like, hurry up, just get to the point, just end it. I know who it is, just end it. But this time I actually don't know who it could possibly be. Now my theories are... Well, okay, my theory could be like Byakuya, because he seems to know everything. Yes, he sort of saw these things before me, saw the evidence, the clues before me, but I don't know, I still think that he's possibly, even though you're technically not allowed in the girls' locker room without the keycard, unless it's like borrowed or something like that, but my only other theory is maybe Toko. But again, I'm a little bit stumped on this one, not gonna lie. So let's just see how the Clash trial goes anyway. Ahem. So Is everyone ready to... What? Am I blind? Or are we missing someone? Let me guess, Toko, right?
Yo.
That's interesting. Yeah, Toko's not here.
Huh?
And Toko is... You really don't remember, man?
Come on!
Kidding! I'm just kidding. How could I forget the little nut job? She's the crucial part of the Clash trial this time. I wonder why that is.
What are you gonna do?
Okie dokie, I'll go ahead and drag her out here, kicking and screaming. Just one moment, please. And just like he said, a few minutes later, he reappeared, dragging Toko behind him. I told him I don't want to, but he forced me. I can't believe you would drag a girl around. Terrible, you're just terrible.
Phew!
So now everyone's here, right? Okay then, let's hustle into the on-air elevator and let's get the show on our road. I'll see you guys down there.
Let's go.
So, shall we get going? It's time to find out who killed Chihiro. Chihiro Fujisaka. These names I will never be able to pronounce properly. Well, the first names I've been alright with, it's just the surnames, never be able to pronounce them properly. She was so gentle, so calm and meek. Nobody had any problems with her. Someone made the choice to kill a girl like that. Yeah, which is one of those stumps, because like, what motive do you have? I mean, like, with Leon... I mean, okay, you know what? With Leon, he didn't really have any actual motive. He just wanted to talk to Sayaka, and then the whole rigmarole happened, and then she just ended up dead. So he didn't actually have any motive to kill her. So maybe it's going to be the same thing here, that somehow this actually turned into an accident? And the person who killed her didn't mean to? I guess we'll just find out though. And the murderer is one of us. Standing right here.
Hey, come on.
Fucking Toko, man. What's got her so worked up? I gave you plans to work with. Show us how far your logic can take you. There is something odd about Toko's behavior. I can attest to that. I do not think mere shock is enough to explain it. I don't know why the killer did what they did, but
Count on it.
I'm sure it'll work out and work itself out. Justice always prevails, right, bro? Yeah, totally. You ready? We're doing this, bro?
Well then.
I will uncover the villain who performed such heinous acts on a weaker individual.
How very sad.
I must admit, for being 3D, she was quite remarkable. Of course, just the... You make me cringe! Alright, Toko. That's all you have to say, is it? I guess there wasn't much help at all in this one. I mean, not many people were that much help. Then again, I don't think I talked to many people, did I? Which is probably my downfall. But I guess we'll just continue on, shall we? Yeah. We have no choice, right? We have to do this.
It's true.
Yes. I gave a small nod in reply. With just one last deep breath, I walked toward the elevator and shaking legs. With each step forward, I could feel my heart start to race faster and faster. As soon as everyone was on, the elevator began to descend. I couldn't get a handle on my emotions, couldn't stop speculating. The steel box sank with heavy... I mean, wouldn't this just be the exact same dialogue as the last time we did the Clash trial going down in the elevator? As we went deeper, the uneasiness in my heart grew bigger and bigger. Elevator was unaffected, however, and continued to descend without. I love how you're personifying the elevator. Until finally, it came to a sudden stop. What do you think? I've redecorated. Oh, so you redecorated like the TARDIS did. Very nice. Isn't it so fresh? Isn't it so exciting? Don't waste our time with stupid questions. Let's get this over with.
Very nice.
Good, good. You're raring to go. Gotta say, I don't hate it. Not at all.
Well,
Okay then, let's get the show on the road.
thrills, chills, kills!
Everyone, please find your assigned seats. And so the curtain opened once again. Deadly judgment, deadly deception, a deadly betrayal, a deadly riddle, deadly... Yes. Oh, yes. Now, of course, this is going to be like the only time it saves, unfortunately. Open e-handbook. Okay, sure. Okay, so what are our truth bullets? So, Oh, okay, Monokuma file. So the victim was Chihiro the time of death is estimated to be around 2 AM. The body was discovered in the girls' locker room on the 2nd floor. The cause of death was a blow to the head of a blunt object. She was killed instantly. Okay, so E. Okay. Although Chihiro wanted to get stronger, she declined several invitations from Sakura and Hina, and may have used the locker room to avoid them. Despite this, Chihiro had stated that she desired help with her efforts. She may have been meeting someone in a locker room. Possible. I wonder who that could be though. Dumbbell. Yep. Chihiro had told anyone willing to listen that she wanted to get stronger. Some assumed that due to her inferiority, she admired strength more than anything else. Yep. You need a male. And the females student. You need a male. Yep. It is not possible for two people to enter at the same time. Handbook of each. Yep. One of the handbooks found in the main hall had been broken, which is apparently rare. So Junko's, so it's only Leon's, which made me think that because Leon was the punish for the, because Leon was in a class trial, but Junko and Sayaka wasn't. That's why his one was broken. But I guess even that's peculiar to Monokuma. Monokuma claims it's very unlikely that would have been broken. So, unless someone used Leon's handbook and then broke it, which could also be possible. So Genocide Jack. Okay, I think we might be fine with what we have. So set skills. Well, I don't know what you mean by set skills. Neural liberation. The focus gauge or gauge decreases more slowly during concentration and fever time. Effective during non-stop debates, the hangman's increases damage to the opponent when a statement is destroyed. Effective during bullet time battle. Costs 3 SP. So, okay, I've only got 2 then. Okay, I guess I can have both of them loaded? I mean, sure, I guess. I wonder if that will help in any way, but okay. Finish preparations. See how this goes.
Let's begin with a basic explanation of the class trial. If you can figure out who done it, then only then I'll punish everyone besides the blackened, and the one that deceived everyone else will graduate. Okay then. So, first off, let's talk about the murder weapon!
The dumbbell. First we have to make clear what was used to deliver the fatal blow. Okay. Locker room dumbbell.
Chihiro's fatal injury. It appears appears it was a head wound.
I mean, it
According
was.
to the Monokuma file, the killer used a blunt instrument. But what kind of blunt instrument could it have been?
I bet it was an iron pipe.
Blunt
Interesting.
instrument. It's blunt instrument then.
That certainly would make for a powerful weapon.
Poor Chihiro.
So yeah, blunt weapon.
What kind of blunt
Okay.
instrument could it have
That
been?
one. I think you have some proof that contradicts what I said. I thought no, I'm agreeing. I'm meant to be arguing, but then how can I argue against what they said?
I bet it was an iron pipe.
Oh, so I got to argue against.
Interesting.
Are you fucking? I literally hit iron pipe and you fucking missed. That wasn't my fault. That was your fault, game.
I bet it was an
Okay,
iron
let's just do
pipe.
this. Right, please.
Interesting.
I'm literally hitting it.
I bet it was an
Right.
iron pipe. I bet it was an iron pipe.
Finally.
No, that's wrong.
I'm sorry, but the aiming in this is absolutely atrocious.
Can
It's
we
so
agree that
bad.
the object that dealt the fatal blow was the dumbbell found at the scene of the crime? It was covered in blood, and there was nothing else at the scene that could have caused that kind of injury.
I'm sorry, but I'm taking a little bit out of this just because I hate it when game elements hinder you from progress. If it's story elements, fair enough, but if it's game elements, it really just angers me because just the only reason why I'm not progressing is because I'm not aiming correctly, which again, not my fault, it's the fucking game's fault for its ridiculous aiming mechanics. I don't know, whatever.
And the wound on the victim's head is consistent with the shape of the dumbbell. As far as I'm concerned, there's no mistake and no room for doubt on this one.
You looked at her head wound?
I mean, she's investigating, so why wouldn't she?
Yay! That's so creepy!
If you don't mind, I will proceed from here. Let's move on to discussion of the culprit. Although, I believe the criminal behind this heinous act is already quite clear.
What? For real?
Chihiro's killer is the fiendish serial killer, Genocide Jack.
Genocide Jack the Fiendish Serial. I love how you were just repeating what you just said. Did he really kill Chihiro? A new element has been added to the non-stop. Fine. For this debate, lines of white noise will appear to disrupt your. Wait, did we have this before? I can't remember. Your truth bullets will disappear if they hit these white lines. So think of them as obstacles in your what? There's a way to keep this white noise from getting in your way. Press the right mouse button to attach the silencer, which you can use to shoot down the. However, if you shoot an actual remark with your silencer instead of the white, the time limit will decrease. So take. They really like making more mechanics even harder for you, don't they? I mean, I get it's to like amp up the tension, but okay, yeah, sure. Oh, but if your action difficulty is set to gentle, why not? Well, good riddance. And I'm pretty sure, yeah, my action is set. I put it under gentle. Good riddance. Oh my god, that's actual comedy gold. In which case you can forget about the sunset. Brilliant, I love that. Oh, well then, good luck and have fun. I shall. Genocide Jack case file. So what am I arguing against?
The culprit is Genocide Jack. I'm sure of it. Case closed, as far as I'm concerned.
But that's impossible!
Why? What makes it impossible?
Well, I mean, come on! There's just no proof for it.
Hey, so Speaking of Genocide Jack, I don't know who that is!
So do you actually have to...
I'm sure of it. Case closed.
I thought the game literally just told me that I don't need to worry about it. But apparently I do. But I'm on this month.
There's just no proof for it.
Right, come on. There we go.
No, that's wrong.
Break.
I might know one reason he could be involved.
What?
I found this file while I was looking around the archive in the library. I guess it's some kind of confidential file the police put together about the Genocide Jack case.
What? That's kind of weird as shit, isn't it? What was something like that doing in the library?
The why of it is probably more trouble than it's worth. So let's forget about that for now. More importantly, it outlines all the specifics of every Genocide Jack case in exceeding detail. According to the file, there appear to be two defining characteristics in every Genocide Jack case. The first is that a bloody message is found written at the scene of every murder.
Oh, that's right. Boob lust.
Okay, I gotta admit, that did make me laugh. It shouldn't have, but it did.
No. It's actually bloodlust.
But more important is the other characteristic, and it's something that has never been made public.
Never made public? What the hell is it?
Why don't you tell them, Makoto?
The other characteristic of every Genocide Jack case which the world at large doesn't know. If I'm not mistaken, it has to do with the position of the body. Yeah.
I got it! Apparently, in every Genocide Jack case, the killer suspends the body in a certain way. Other than the killer, the only people who know about this are the higher-ups in the police department.
However, Chihiro was most definitely suspended in the same way. So, how did the culprit know about this when only high-level police officials were aware of it? There's only one logical answer I can think of.
Which is...
It's because the culprit in this case is the real Genocide Jack.
No fucking way!
You're saying Genocide Jack is one of us?
Yes, in fact, it's Toko.
So I mean, if it actually does turn out to be Toko at the end, then oh my actual god. I guess my suspicions were right all along, which hot diggly damn.
What?
Genocide Jack's true identity is Toko Fukawa.
You lie!
What? Hey, okay, wait, hold on a sec. Toko has, like, bloodophobia or whatever, remember? What kind of serial killer is afraid of blood?
Is Toko Genocide Jack? The answer is yes and no.
Interesting?
Another riddle? Man, why is this gotta be so complicated?
That's what I'm asking. It's a riddle for sure, but I feel like I understand it. What it means for Genocide Jack to be Toko, but also to not be Toko. The answer is that she's not just one person, but multiple people. So what you're saying is that it's a combination of Toko and Chihiro, right? Hangman's Gambit. Oh. Oh. Wait, what? Wait, what? Oh, what? What? Wait, what am I looking? Wait, help. Okay, hold on, Hangman's... Is there anything to do with Hangman's Gambit? So shoot down the letters by... You have to shoot some letters more than once to... Wait, what? Okay, so wait, hang on. If you shoot the wrong letters during Hangman's Gambit, you'll take damage. You will fail the case. Okay, so... Focus Gal, okay. By holding the space key, you can concentrate fast forward. Shoot down the letters by pressing. You have to. What letters am I shooting? Sit. Schizo? Oh. Schizo.
Now I understand.
Okay.
Is it because Genocide Jack has a split personality?
Schizophrenia. Oh. It's funny how we're learning this now and not like, you know, during the investigation, which I find a bit iffy, but okay.
Huh?
I think I read that somewhere in the file too.
Did you?
They thought that the suspect might have, what did they call it? Dissociative identity disorder.
I probably accidentally skimmed over that, if I'm gonna be honest.
Oh, okay. But still, to go and say that about Miss Fukawa is...
Perfectly acceptable. Toko's strange behavior after seeing the body is proof enough that she has a split personality.
One thing that shows Toko could have a split personality has to do with her behavior. Her behavior changed.
I got it! You're talking about how she started acting totally different than usual, right?
That's right. Think back. She fainted when she saw Chihiro's corpse, and then, when she woke up...
I'm fine. Yeah. Oh, is that dead body? Hey, are you dead? She must have hit her head real hard when she fainted. What is the front and back and the top of... It's quite concerning. I mean, she sounds completely different.
She was acting funny, that's for sure. That melancholy tone of hers completely disappeared.
Don't go assigning adjectives to my tone without permission.
Not to mention, once she regained consciousness and saw Chihiro's body again, she was utterly calm. In other words, within her is one personality that can handle blood, and one that obviously can.
So when Toko trapped herself in her room, it's because she was scared of Genocide Jack?
She was scared of... You could say that she was scared of herself. That's an interesting way to look at it. And it would kind of make sense. That, yeah. Oh, you know what? I mean, even in this instance, like I like suspected it was Toko, but I did not actually look past this sort of text. This was actually so obvious. Like, well, actually, if I knew about the whole dissociative identity disorder, split personality, I would have actually looked at this more closely, but because I wasn't aware of that, I didn't really take a look at this with a second piece of eyes. But yeah, that does make sense though. She was looking herself away so that Genocide Jack wouldn't have any more control. Damn. Oh, drive out the killer, drive out the murderous fiend.
The reason she locked herself in her room wasn't to keep other people from getting in. It was to keep her other personality.
What?
Toko was afraid. Afraid of the murderous fiend inside of her.
How?
Yeah. How can you know all this?
I do believe you misunderstood her. What she's trying to say isn't, how can you know all this? No. What she wants to know is, how could you tell them?
Huh?
Last night, just before Monokuma gave his motive speech, Toko and I had a strange conversation. She told me a most interesting story. She said a murderous fiend lived within her, and she was afraid it could appear and attack at any time.
And you failed to mention this to me? I mean, we are technically partners, so you failed to mention that to me, huh?
And that trepidation is what's caused her to have such a bleak attitude. Isn't that right, Toko?
This is all a lie. Right, Toko?
You said you wouldn't tell anyone.
What?
You promised! I can't believe you lied!
You have only yourself to blame. You came to me with your tragic little story. I didn't ask you to.
I mean, you don't really need to ask. I mean, if someone says, oh, can I tell you a story? And you say, oh, yeah, you can. Technically, that's you granting their permission, but I guess she just came to you with the story and you just, I don't know, eavesdropped or listened in, right? You didn't even say, oh, yes, please do continue. So I guess that's your way of saying that you didn't ask her to.
This is the real world, not some romantic fantasy fairy tale. Besides, you broke your promise first. You said that as long as you were here, no matter what, you wouldn't let Genocide Jack kill anyone. But in spite of that promise,
I'm sorry, I couldn't keep our promise. But don't worry, never again. I won't let Genocide Jack ever take control ever again.
You said if I kept my promise, you would go out with me.
Did he now?
That's the only reason I promised.
how many times do I have to tell you? I never said that.
Oh, yeah. That's only what she wants him to say.
But you weren't able to do it. You just couldn't resist that rush you got from killing, could you?
I tried. I swear I tried to control it.
But your efforts were useless. What a disappointment.
I hate you.
Well, the opening act is nearly finished. All that's left is to hear from the person in question directly.
The person?
Genocide Jack.
You don't mean...
Toko's body suddenly lunged back. So wait, are we almost at the... No, we can't be almost at the end already. We've just... Unless we need to actually still put forward evidence, which is likely. But this feels like we're almost at the end already, which... You know what? I'm not going to say anything. Let's just... A huge thud echoed across the courtroom, but next second... Oh my...
Hello there! Is it me you were hoping to see?
Genocide... Oh! But you're not Jack, you're Jill. So what happened to Jack?
What the heck? So you figured it out, huh? Well, whatever. What are you gonna do? I'm the ultimate murderous fiend, Genocide Jack! Or better yet, let's go with Genocide Jill!
What the fuck is this?
Toko, what happened to you?
Not Toko, that's a loser name, and what happened is a textbook split personality. So what if one of them happens to be a serial killer? You should turn a blind eye to one's faults.
So intense.
Like they say, sound in murderous mind, sound in murderous body.
This one is so different from the one we've come to know.
Yes, well, the world is composed of a front and a back, you know. Just like how every inning has a top and a bottom, or how in the depths of every truth lives a little lie. Behind every dark and gloomy soul lives another that shines as bright as the sun!
This is the murderous fiend? Genocide Jack? This is beyond insane.
Miss Jack, Jill, can I ask you a question?
What's up?
I don't like that. I don't like that. I don't like that. I don't know why. I don't like that.
Some of us think you might be the mastermind behind our entire situation.
What are your thoughts on that?
Well, I'll tell you, I am the mastermind of all masterminds! Just kidding!
Then it's not true?
Of course it's not true! How dare you try to link me to that creepazoid!
Wait, what? So, wait, so our entire investigation has been a lie?
And another thing, the police and government and society in the outside world are totally powerless! I mean, they just let this idiotic, bloodthirsty maniac go buck wild all over town!
Sure, I'm a bloodthirsty maniac, but life is pain, right? To live is to hurt other people. It's a necessary evil if you want to survive. The act of living itself causes pain for everyone. Just kidding again!
I don't even know what to even make of this.
This should be enough to convince you. This murderous fiend is responsible for Chihiro's death.
But didn't Monokuma just say that is not the case?
There's clearly a motive, so there should be no doubt.
A motive?
I'm really confused. So, Monokuma literally just confirmed that this is not true in the slightest. Unless he was talking about something else, which this is not making clear whatsoever.
Remember what Monokuma told us? If someone didn't murder and graduate within 24 hours, an embarrassing memory or secret would be revealed. Well, let's assume that Toko's secret was about Genocide Jack.
Oh, yeah,
If
okay.
a secret like that came to light, Toko's life would have undoubtedly been forever ruined. So she had a very clear motive to never have that side of herself exposed.
Interesting. Very, very, very interesting. But sorry, as much as I hate to admit it, I'm not the culprit.
Huh?
But I cannot imagine anyone other than you could murder someone in such a bizarre fashion.
Maybe so, but nevertheless, it's the truth.
Do you really expect any of us to believe you?
Honestly, yeah, do you expect that?
Yeah. I could never believe a word you say, you monster.
I mean, how can you believe a word of a serial killer? As much as they say, oh, it's the truth, that's nothing. Maybe she's totally right about that, but something's still bothering me. Well, she said I need to get some more details about all of this. Alright, here we go. Status of the dead body. Okay.
Sorry, but I didn't kill anyone.
You say that, but do you really expect any of us to believe it?
Perhaps if you had an alibi, that would change things.
Oh, an alibi, huh? Now we're talking.
When you compare your past murders to this incident, the modus operandi matches completely. What more proof do we need? Give it up. You killed her.
I guess there's only one place I can shoot my truth bullet.
The modus operandi matches completely.
No, that's wrong. Are the methods of murder really exactly the same? I'm not so sure about that. I think there's a slight difference between the Genocide Jack cases and this one.
The use of the rope, right? Has to be.
Huh? How's it any different?
Uh-oh, you don't know? Well then, human garbage, let me tell you! I murder with passion and conviction. I consider myself a professional, and I have a very particular way of doing things. Imagine you go to a fancy Italian restaurant. They're very picky about the noodles, the sauce, everything. But what happened to Chihiro? It'd be like if that same Italian restaurant started using ragu or Chef Boyardee. This is no creation of mine.
Let me rephrase that in a way that maybe makes more sense. There are two clear differences between the Genocide Jack cases and this one.
One clear difference between the murders. And the photos from the other Genocide Jack cases look at the neck and the stomach. Here you will see a clear difference. Fatal injury.
I got it! For one, the cause of death is different. In the Genocide Jack murders, all the victims were killed the same way. According to the case file, they were all apparently killed with a pair of scissors. But Chihiro died from a blow to the head, right?
Ah, yes. That is remarkably different from the other murders.
Wouldn't it be strange for someone who kills the same way without fail to suddenly change their method?
I mean, it wouldn't be strange. It wouldn't be. Because if you want to, like, go unnoticed, you would want to freshen up your act, right? No, that wouldn't be strange in the slightest.
And there's more. One more conflicting detail.
That's right! In my recipe of murder, if the bloody message is the tortellini, then the arrangement of the body would be the pesto sauce!
Could you please stop comparing killing people to cooking?
I mean, technically, she is cooking up her killings. So,
are you saying the other difference has to do with how the body was arranged?
that's right. The second difference is related to how she was suspended. In the photos of all the other victims were stabbed through their hands. Here you will see a clear difference. What was used to suspend her?
I got it! Do you remember what the killer used to suspend her? They used some kind of rope to hang her up by her wrists.
What is your point?
Well, in all the previous Genocide Jack cases, something else was used to suspend them. Specifically, pairs of razor-sharp scissors.
And guess what? I used my own specially designed scissors for the murders and the arrangement! Like I said, I'm a professional, so naturally I'm very picky about the tools I use. And you know what else? Big Mac said there's two differences, but he's wrong.
Big Mac? Are you referring to me?
Listen up, Big Mac! There's actually one more difference!
Huh?
My word, you really didn't notice? Take a look at who the victims were in each Genocide Jack case. There's a pattern there, just wait.
Let me guess. It's mostly men, right?
A pattern?
Figure that out, and it'll be plain as death why I couldn't have possibly killed that little lolly girl.
Let's see, there was a pattern surrounding the Genocide Jack and didn't fit. If you look at the names of every victim, what you'll see notice is, I think I figured it out. I know why she couldn't have killed Chihiro. Was a girl, right?
I got it! Is it because Chihiro was a girl?
Bingo! Bullseye! Right on the
Oh,
money!
fucking course. You only go for the men, you fucking...
What are you talking about?
In all the Genocide Jack cases, all the victims had something in common.
Can had, yeah. There were no end to it.
They were all guys?
That's right! The people I kill with such passion and conviction are all adorable little men! I can't believe I said it! I'm so embarrassed!
The hell is wrong with you?
I can't help it! I'm just a full-throttle boy-on-boy fangirl, and the mopey side of me just hates it. But now I'm on the fast track to becoming a full-fledged fan madam!
So, since Chihiro was a girl and not an adorable little man, you wouldn't kill her?
Would an Italian chef suddenly start making ramen just because they're both noodles? Don't be stupid.
These comparisons are so weak, not gonna lie.
I have too much passion and conviction to cross that line. That's the absolute reality of the one and only.
We get it. You've clearly explained your hobby and your philosophy. But that's not all there is to it. It's a different matter entirely, when you're forced to kill in order to survive.
Quiet, lowly cur!
Lowly cur?
These name insults are quite the something.
I would never kill for a reason as petty as mere survival. And if by some fluke I did kill to survive, why would I bother with the message and arrangement? It'd make me the obvious suspect!
I mean, yeah.
That does make some amount of sense.
Plus, whatever reason I have for killing, I would never leave out my prized scissors. Who would go out of their way to use a big, stupid, heavy dumbbell?
Maybe you used the dumbbell because you couldn't find any scissors in the school?
Any scissors? I don't just use any scissors. I only use my own set of high-class envy of the entire world scissors!
Okay, whatever. There still aren't any in the school.
Are you sure about that?
Wow. Okay, so she always has them on her then.
She's fully equipped!
That's right! So I can kill anywhere, anytime! Why would I resort to dumbbells or rope when I have my trusty scissors by my side? Go ahead, tell me I'm wrong! You can't, can you, gutter dogs, all of you! Not to mention, I have no clue how to tie a good knot. So rope's totally out of the question anyway!
I have no idea what's going on anymore! Could such a heinous villain really be innocent?
Honestly, you're on the same page as me. I'm on the same page as you. I don't know what's going on anymore.
But the body really was suspended, right? And nobody but the police knew about that.
Yeah. That's why we figured it had to be the real deal and not some copycat killer or whatever.
Actually, hold on. There is one person. One person who could have copied the genocide Jack cases. Are you just talking about not Monica, Byakuya? I'm gonna say Byakuya because you knew. I'm gonna get this wrong though, right? I'm gonna get this wrong.
Here's my answer. Byakuya, it's possible you could have found out, isn't it? You'd have no problem gaining access to classified government documents or internal police records. Plus, you'd already looked through the Genocide Jack file before this all happened, hadn't you?
And plus, he wanted to kill someone. He had that sort of evil, murderous intent. He may not have, explicitly said it, but he just had that sort of intention around him. Okay, both people I suspected seems to be right so far. I mean, maybe that is super easy for me to suspect these two, because I don't know, it just seems so obvious. Maybe that's why I'm suspecting them, but...
Are you saying Mr. Togami did it?
Then, the reason he pushed the theory of Genocide Jack being the killer so hard was because he wanted to pin the crime on her.
I mean, she was, intruding on him so much, so I guess he wanted to take revenge and pin it onto her, maybe.
So, he rearranged the scene to disguise it and make it look like I put my stamp on it. The adorable glasses man was behind it all. Oh, I'm on fire!
Well, Byakuya, what's your response?
I see. So now the suspicion falls on me. Then I must ask, when would you say I began acting suspicious? Surely you must have an answer.
That's a good question. He didn't actually... That's the thing. When me and Byakuya started working together, he didn't actually sound suspicious at all. But then again, your act is absolutely top fucking notch that nobody would be able to suspect you, making you the perfect, the perfect person behind this crime.
Looking back and thinking about it now, the way you were acting right before we discovered the body was a little strange.
Was it? and the locker rooms. They're suspicious, very suspicious indeed. Wouldn't you agree? Suspicious? It seems nobody searched the locker rooms. Let's start with the girls' locker room.
You wanted to go to the girls' locker room right away, right? But since you're a guy...
I should have naturally thought of the boys' locker room first. Is that what you want to say? The victim was Chihiro, a girl. Hence why I said we should check the girls' locker room.
Yeah, I mean that's kind of what I thought as well.
Nothing strange about that, I'd say.
On the contrary, there's something very strange.
Really?
Okay then. What's so strange about it? Go ahead. Share with the rest
Honestly,
of the class.
I'm interested as well. There was a clear contradiction in what Bakuya just said. I need to make it clear to everyone. Yeah, sure. So next we're going to add something called a truth flashback. If you aim at a weak spot and hold down the... then you'll memorize that weak spot. This memorized phrase can only be shot once as a single truth bullet. If you shoot or change the truth bullet, it will disappear from your... You can use this flashback feature as many times as you want. If you don't seem to have the answers to a lie or contradiction in your little truth bullets, it might be wise to memorize and use that to make your case. When's the best time to flashback? Well, you'll just have to use your keen wits, won't you? In this case, though, I will say that if you don't use the flashback, you won't be refuting anything. Well then, good luck. What? I'm sorry, but that doesn't really make much sense. So Monokuma file. Okay.
So, you said Byakuya was acting kind of weird before we found the body. But he was acting weird... how?
If you're presented with the opportunity to check out the girls' locker room...
Oh, shut up, Hifumi.
That's a natural reaction for any guy!
The victim was Chihiro, who was a girl. So of course I would suggest we check the girls' locker room first. There was no time for pointless distractions. What's so strange about that?
I wish you'd taken me with you.
I suppose it's the first thing that was said, maybe?
So, you said Byakuya was acting kind of weird before we found the body.
So...
But he was acting weird... how?
If you're presented with the opportunity to check
wait.
out the girls...
What? I'm so confused. Okay, let's just do this.
Byakuya was acting kind of weird before we found the body.
Okay, so we got that before we found the
But
body.
he was acting weird... how?
Okay.
If you're presented with the opportunity to
So I guess
check out
we
the
have
girls'
that.
locker room...
You absolutely take it!
So...
That's a natural reaction for any guy!
The victim was Chihiro, who was a girl.
Okay.
So of course I would suggest we check the girls' locker room first. There was no time for pointless distractions. What's so strange?
I don't know.
The victim was Chihiro.
Oh.
No, that's wrong.
Oh, so that's how...
I'll tell you what's so strange about that. Because up until we actually discovered the body, we couldn't have known who the victim was.
Oh. Oh yeah, the time Oh, okay.
So your claim that you went to the girls' locker room first because Chihiro was the victim doesn't hold up.
I see. That's a good answer, I must admit. Interesting. Very interesting indeed. But your reasoning is still too weak.
Huh?
What's wrong? Is that it? Surely you've got more than that. Go ahead. Show us.
What's Bakuya's attitude? It's like he doesn't... He doesn't. That's just it. He just doesn't. I'm kind of concerned. He's acting like it has nothing to do with him.
What's the matter? You're not finished already, are you? There must be more to it.
There is. I think.
Look at me sweating, man.
There is more to it. Think about it. We just talked about the differences between this case and past Genocide Jack incidents. The proof you're looking for is hidden in there.
Oh? Proof that I'm the culprit, you mean?
Differences between this case and other Genocide Jack murders. The evidence that proves Byakuya's responsibility is hidden in there. What could it be? So what do we have? Library. That's interesting evidence, though.
What? The difference between the cases? You want me to explain it again? When I want to kill, I use my very own special scissors. And I use those same scissors to arrange the body.
But Chihiro was suspended with... It was some kind of rope. Was it not?
That's right! It absolutely was!
Then there must be something very fishy indeed about that rope.
Hey, Byakuya, where'd you get it from, huh?
I'd never seen that rope before in my life.
Aha! Yes!
No, that's wrong!
It was a cord, not a rope.
Actually, I'm pretty sure you have seen it before. Because, you see, that rope, or should I say, that extension cord?
Aha!
What? An extension cord?
Byakuya, you've used the extension cord in the library more than once, haven't you? And the same extension cord that was in the library all this time went missing after the murder. And there's no way someone who uses that extension cord as much as you do wouldn't discover that fact.
And Byakuya must be the one who took the extension cord. I can't imagine any other possibility.
That's really what you think? Then your conclusion is something like this? I killed Chihiro in the girls' locker room, then hung her up and wrote that bloody message. I intentionally made it look like Genocide Jack was behind it. Is that about right?
He's doing it again. Totally calm, totally unconcerned. As if he's not even involved. Wait, not even involved?
What's wrong? I asked you if you think that's what happened.
Hell yes, that's what happened. So that's it, right? Byakuya's the killer.
I don't disagree with not disagreeing.
That's definitely a sentence.
He kept calling this a game, right? So he'd be totally willing to do something like this to win.
Sorry, but could we hold on just a second? I think we need to talk about this a little more.
Huh? Do we really need to? We've already decided who did it.
I know, but still, there's something that's still bothering me.
Is that right? And what, pray tell, is still bothering you? I killed her in the girls' locker room, then disguised my crime. Specifically, I dressed it up to make it look like it was the work of a homicidal psychopath. What about all that bothers you?
Wait. What was that just now? Something's not right. Chihiro's body was definitely found in the girls' locker room, but does that mean... Can I really just accept that what Byakuya said as truth? No, I don't think so. There's definitely something off about what he said. Genocide Jack's presence? You constructed this scene because you knew the Genocide Jack was here, right? So? Wasn't here, did you ever consider that? I mean, nothing happened, so I guess that I guessed wrong then. I was extremely confident in my assertion, and I was equally confident in showing you the file. The real Genocide Jack would be exposed. So all of that was part of the plan. I thought maybe there was a hole there somewhere.
Shoot!
Okay, well I've got one more. I've got one more though. So it must be the scene of the crime then, right?
I got it! You say you killed Chihiro in the girls' locker room, right? But are you sure about that? Isn't it possible that the murder took place somewhere else?
Do we know where the... Am I just lagging behind because I'm confused now?
How disappointing. What kind of question is that? Even in the world of disappointments, this is a true letdown. She was found dead in the girls' locker room. There is absolutely no question about that. How could the scene of the crime have been anywhere else?
Well, I think it's entirely possible that she was killed somewhere else, then carried there later, along with the rest of the murder scene.
The rest of the murder scene? That was awfully specific. Please tell me you have a reason for saying all of that.
I believe I do.
Hey, Baku, did I just take you off guard? When the story suddenly moved to the crime scene, Bakuya, who'd been so confident up until now. Maybe Bakuya never even realized that the actual scene of the crime could have been somewhere else.
Hey! Don't just move on without permission! What do you mean she was killed somewhere else?
Come on, Makoto. If there's any chance the murder took place somewhere else, let's see the proof.
Evidence that showed the murder took place somewhere else. There was something that switched between the... Of course! The poster and also the stain. Huh, okay, right, anyway, right. So, poster? Where's the poster? Yes, that one.
I got it! The proof that she was killed somewhere else is the poster that's hanging in each locker room.
Your proof is some posters?
I mean, I know, right? It's a bit ludicrous.
The poster in the girls' locker room was a picture of a big boobed supermodel. But don't you think that's kind of strange? Why would the girls' locker room have a poster like that?
I bet those massive jugs of hers were totally fake!
Meanwhile, the boys' locker room had a poster of the super popular boy band Tornado. Again, that doesn't really seem to belong in a boys' locker room.
Again, I don't agree in the slightest. Like, as a boys' locker room, you would have something to do with boys on a poster. That makes sense. I'm sorry, but no, I disagree with this.
So you're saying that maybe the posters were switched?
And there's one other thing I noticed about the locker rooms. You know what I'm talking about, right, Sakura?
You're referring to my protein coffee, aren't you?
Protein coffee?
While I was in the girls' locker room earlier, I spilled some protein coffee on the carpet. But I noticed that after the murder, the stain had been totally scrubbed away.
No, it's not like the stain was scrubbed away. It was moved. Yes. So, which one? Which one? There we go. Carpet.
I got it! The stain on the girls' locker room carpet wasn't scrubbed away. In fact, I found it on the boys' locker room carpet.
That's definitely the stain from my protein coffee.
I wish that Makoto said this to Sakura, you know. I was hoping, but, you know.
Then, does that mean that the carpets were switched too? But why would anyone do that?
To move the murder scene from one locker room to the other. It's certainly plausible, don't you think? What? In other words, in order to completely swap the scene of the crime, the blood-stained poster and carpet were moved along with the dead body. By doing this, the killer was able to change the entire room where the murder took place.
I can certainly follow your reasoning, but why would the culprit bother doing that?
That is actually what I'm wondering.
Huh?
Why would they go through all that trouble of switching the scene of the crime? Actually, an even bigger question. If the murder did take place in the boys' locker room, then how did Chihiro get in the boys' locker room in the first place?
Actually, I didn't even think about that.
To get into the locker rooms, you have to swipe your e-handbook across the card reader device, but Chihiro's handbook should have only allowed her access to the girls' locker room. She had no way to get into the boys' locker room to begin with.
No, she did have a way, and I can tell you what it was.
I highly doubt that.
Shut up! I'm telling you, I know how she could have done it.
Is he right? Could Chirag really have gotten into the boys' locker room somehow? Bro... That... Oh my...
Is it
That's what I was thinking! I literally even spoke about that, like, before, didn't I? About using the broken... Okay.
Could Chihiro really have gotten into the boys' locker room somehow?
Ah! I've got it! She must have hacked her e-handbook!
No.
She was the
Oh my god.
What thing?
I'm talking about Leon's handbook, of course.
No, that's wrong.
Broken! But I mean, Leon's handbook is broken.
No, I don't think Chihiro used Leon's handbook.
Why not?
Because Leon's handbook was broken.
Yeah, but even Monokuma says that it's not broken, so we're kind of wrong in that department.
Oh. Well, then, yeah, I guess that'd be pretty impossible, huh?
I am struck silent by how quickly you gave up.
Plus, isn't there a regulation against using someone else's handbook?
Actually, the rule states that loaning your handbook is prohibited. It says nothing about borrowing one.
Even though technically loaning is the same as borrowing. I mean, I even had to look that up, I think. And yeah, loaning is the same as borrowing in a way, so...
In other words, you could borrow a dead person's handbook all you want, and you'd be safe.
Yup. Hit the nail square on the noggin.
Of course, if it were broken, that wouldn't make any sense anyway.
So then, she must have hacked hers, like I said. She used her ultimate programmer skills and...
Psst! You can't fix an e-handbook. The instant you open one up, a security buzzer starts blaring.
So, if she didn't use Leon's handbook, and she didn't modify her own handbook...
Maybe Mr. Naegi's initial assumption is just wrong?
It seems like there's no way she could have got into the boys' locker room. So I guess so.
Okay then, I vote for Byakuya!
Is that it, then? Jiro was killed in the girls' locker room and Bakuya is the one who did it? Really? But still, I don't know what else I can do.
Hold on a second. I agree with you, though. I think you're on the right track.
What the? You finally decide to open your mouth and that's what you've got to say? There's no way she could get in the boys' locker room, right? So...
Why are you so sure she couldn't get in? There's still one other way she could have gained access.
What?
What are you talking about? What other way is there?
Well, to explain that, why don't we take a little break from the trial? I'd like you all to come see something.
Okay.
Wait. Just what do you think you're doing?
Don't worry. This'll make the whole trial more exciting. I'm sure that thought must please you.
Huh? It'll make things more exciting? Well, all right then. I declare an official class trial recess.
For real?
Now then, what is it you want to show us? It better not be boring or I'll be very unhappy.
Oh, I have no doubt it'll meet your lofty expectations. So, shall we go?
So before I even knew what was happening, the class trial had been put on hold. We headed off with Kyoko in the lead. And where she took us was... Okay...
The girls' locker room?
We've already searched this place top to bottom! What are you trying to pull, Missy?
I'd like you to examine the victim's body one more time.
You wanna check again?
Be sure to examine the entire body very carefully. Take your time.
Examine her carefully? Like using...
Here for me, shut up.
Probably best if I don't run my hands all over a girl's dead body.
It's not that I'm creeped out or anything, it's just... based on religious grounds, you know?
Very well. I'll do it.
Fair enough.
But you're a girl. You shouldn't have to touch a dead body. Just let one of the boys do it.
Why? Why would you even say that, you know, why?
No, it's okay. I think Chihiro would rather have a girl examine her. So just leave this to me.
Sakura. What is this? Some kind of secret girl-on-girl action? Is that what you two are about?
Oh my god.
That's not it at all. Stop screwing around.
Okay, here I go. I'm sorry, Chihiro. Please excuse the intrusion.
Putting her hands together in a brief prayer, Sakura then began to quietly examine her body.
Be sure to check her entire body, and I believe we will solve this particular mystery.
Her entire body? I know you say that, but... What? This is... What is this...
What is it?
Not possible. It's not possible.
Sakura's eyes were staring wildly at Chihiro's lifeless form. Her massive frame trembled.
This girl is
what?
Is a boy!
What the fuck?
Ah, I see. So she was actually a he. Interesting. Thank you for confirming this fact.
That is very, very interesting.
What? You're joking, right?
I wouldn't joke about this.
Then it's really true?
Chihiro was a guy?
Wow. That is, okay. This revelation I was not expecting in the slightest.
Oh, what? You guys didn't know? Heck, I knew that right off the bat.
I mean, of course you would know that. Of course you would.
Chihiro Fujisaki was totally a guy.
Wow. Wow. But you know what, like, I mean, she sounded like a girl, and I mean, I guess this is what, like, trans people are like. So, I mean, nothing wrong with that, to be fair.
He was a cross-dresser? Oh, I'm really on fire! I wish I had killed him!
Damn, okay. No.
So that's what Kyoko wanted to show everyone, huh? Interesting.
It is, yeah.
Yes, that certainly does make things much more exciting. Now let's ride this wave of excitement back to the courtroom and get back to the trial.
Uh-huh.
Ahem. I do apologize for keeping you waiting. Now then, let's resume the class trial. We've all just learned of the shocking revelation that Chihiro was actually a boy. Let's pick up from there.
Yes, well, I don't know his reason for hiding it, but the fact is, Chihiro was not a girl, but a boy.
Okay. Just because we know that Chihiro is a boy, we still need to use, the pronouns of she, her, because that is what she went by, please. But of course they're not going to do that. This is going to be a little bit annoying. To think that Chihiro was actually a guy who like appeared as a girl, so we need to just think of her as a girl, The thought the thought never crossed my mind, because if that was the life that she left, that's the life that she left. We need to leave that behind as well. But of course, with this investigation, we can't do that.
And because the victim was male, he would have had no problem gaining access to the boys' locker room.
I don't know how I feel about this, because I genuinely don't even know how I feel about this.
Assuming his handbook did, in fact, list his gender as male, then yes, that would be true.
Yeah. I don't like that though. I don't like that because her handbook should be listed as she. So the fact that it's going by that's really rubbing me the wrong way. I don't like that.
Of course his handbook said he was a boy. He dressed like a girl, but he was a boy through and through.
No. Oh my god.
So then, there should be no issue with Makoto's initial assertion. The victim was killed in the boys' locker room. and was then later moved to the girls' locker room. And the killer could have easily used Sayaka or Junko's handbook to get into the girls' locker room.
So Chihiro really was killed in the boys' locker room?
I still don't understand the motive for moving the body, but yes, that does seem plausible.
Well, I must admit, I did find it rather odd. I knew he felt a little off. There was a certain incongruity to his female body.
This is the most titillating situation!
So now everything has been connected. All the mysteries have finally become clear.
Okay, well, connected or clear or whatever. We still think you're the killer, remember?
Very interesting. This has become very interesting indeed.
He's off in his own little world.
What about you, Makoto? After everything we've learned, do you still think Byakuya's the killer?
Yes.
Well, without a doubt, Byakuya is the one that made Chihiro's death look like Genocide Jack did it. But I think he might not actually be the killer after all.
Oh, what is it now?
What? But aren't you the one who accused him in the first place?
He just seems to be too easygoing about all this. Like he's enjoying us solving the mystery.
I mean, that is what his intent is after all.
The way he's acting, it makes it seem like it doesn't have anything to do with him.
Or maybe he's just too cold to even care about the situation.
And you think that might be because it doesn't have anything to do with him?
Plus, the evidence he left behind was a little too... how can I put it? Overt. He consciously chose to use the extension cord, knowing it could connect him to the murder. At least, that's how I see it. And Byakuya, when you found out the murder took place in the boys' locker room, it seemed to rattle you. And then again when you found out Chihiro was actually a guy. If you really were the killer, that stuff wouldn't have had any effect on you.
I don't think I can agree with that. I genuinely don't think I can agree with that.
So that's your thinking, huh? Well, it bothers me that you don't have more concrete reasons, but it's fine. I guess I'll mark it as correct for the time being.
Mark it as correct?
He's right. I am not the culprit. I just happened to come across the corpse in the girls' locker room and decided to alter it.
Are you fucking with us right now?
No, I am not effing with you right now. I'm telling you the truth.
Well, I find it very hard to believe.
Go ahead. Find it very hard to believe. You're free to be executed along with the rest of us.
If you're really telling the truth, then why? Why do you do that to his body?
My reasons hardly matter right now. Uncovering the culprit is much more important.
No,
wouldn't you say?
no. We need all of the details that we can possibly get, Byakuya. The fact that you're actually hiding this part of the details is kind of telling more than you think.
Now then, if it wasn't me, who was it?
Well, I don't think I can say for sure without talking about it a little more.
We're seriously gonna keep going? We're all good, aren't we? I thought it was clear Byakuya did it.
No, I'm with Makoto. If there's any doubt whatsoever, we need to explore every possibility, because if we're wrong, we all die here.
That's true. Very well then. I'm with you too.
Damn straight. Count me in.
Do you not have a mind of your own?
Of course I do. What am I, an ant or something?
Yeah, most definitely.
Anyway, let's discuss this all as a group one more time. We still have time to make our decision.
That's very true.
Our lives are all on the line.
Excellent. Then shall we resume our game of hide and seek?
But Byakuya didn't do it. Then who's the real killer? Who murdered Chihiro? There's one thing we can be sure that we know about the killer. The killer was able to gain access to the real murder. But the killer is a guy then.
I got it!
Since the crime scene was the boys' locker room, you would need a boys' handbook to get in. Since the handbook is apparently broken, the killer would have used their own. In other words, it had been a guy. That's not still enough, I need to find some more clues. So what other clues do we have? Celeste's account? Wait, what was her account? I forgot.
Isn't there a single clue that might lead us to who did it?
Well, clues are one thing, but did nobody get a look at the killer?
I'm sure if someone saw the killer, they would have said something by now.
Oh wait. Didn't... I guess that's why we're getting Celeste's account, because we're getting her perspective on Chihiro before she died. Huh.
Perhaps someone saw the victim at some point. Even that might be enough
Yeah.
for now.
Yeah. All we need right now is any kind of new info.
Yeah. Oh my god, don't skim it like that. It makes me think... New info. I'm giving you more new info.
You want to know who saw the victim? The killer! And only the killer!
Okay.
No, that's wrong. I believe someone else did see the victim before he was murdered. What do you think, Celeste?
I still don't really like how they're using the word he. Really don't like it.
Now that you mention it, yes, I did see him.
Huh? Really?
Oh, but I suppose only Makoto knows about this. The rest of you had no idea, did you? That is why you're all making such ugly noises.
Whatever! Just hurry up and tell us!
It was last night, right before nighttime. I saw Chihiro in the dormitory warehouse. I saw him stuffing a track jacket into a duffel bag, and then, I assume, he headed off to exercise.
A track jacket and a duffel bag? But we didn't find anything like that at the murder scene.
It seems likely that the culprit destroyed them to get rid of any evidence.
And that is when he said something that struck me as rather odd.
Well, I better get going. I'm kind of in a hurry.
Chihiro told me he was in a hurry, but why would he be in a hurry? Only if someone were waiting for him, I should think.
So, Mr. Fujisaki was on his way to meet with someone, and then they were going to work out together?
But Hina and I had invited him to exercise with us plenty of times, and he always declined.
I still love how they just so naturally use the word he anyway, but anyway.
Probably because he was afraid you'd find out the secret he was hiding, right?
Which means that conversely, he must have trusted whoever he was meeting with very much. Enough so that he was willing to risk his secret being revealed.
Ooh, what a marvelous friendship! The point is, whoever he met up with is the culprit, right? So we just gotta figure out who it was.
But knowing what we know, I can't even guess.
No, you already have what you need to make the connection.
Do I?
Huh?
You know who the killer is.
Seriously?
Who is it? Who's the killer?
Think back to the track jacket and duffel bag the killer disposed of. Focus on the details of these items, and it should become obvious who was waiting for him.
Track jack.
Are you sure about that? You really think we can figure out who did it based on 2 pieces of evidence that we don't have?
What? You want to track down some fingerprints or something?
Even if we had the equipment for that, we wouldn't know how to use it.
As was noted, the evidence is already gone. There's nothing to get fingerprints from.
Maybe, but we can make certain inferences if we just take the time to talk it out.
Is that what we really need? Inferences?
Easy for you to say, but fine. Celeste, did you notice anything special about the bag or jacket?
The bag was just a normal duffel bag from the warehouse. All the bags in there are the same, so I can't imagine what would make that one special.
Well, if I remember right, there was a decent variety of tracksuits to choose from. Do you think there might be some connection between the culprit and Chihiro's jacket?
Perhaps. Let's explore that and talk a bit more about the jacket he took.
That Shihiro's track jacket really holds some clue about the killer? Somehow it's really hard to believe. I'm so confused right now. Celeste, okay, another one of these.
First of all, we know where Chihiro was headed. He was on his way to go exercise. So next we have to ask, why did he choose the specific tracksuit that he did?
What do you mean, the specific tracksuit?
I got it! He picked that tracksuit because it matched the one the culprit was wearing!
So, what you're saying is, the killer was wearing the same blue tracksuit as him? My tracksuit is black.
I don't even have a tracksuit. 'Cause exercising sucks.
I have a white tracksuit personally. I got it
I
from
don't
the
even know.
warehouse, if you must know.
I don't even know.
Did any of that really help us get any closer to figuring out who the culprit is?
No way. Not a chance.
You heard him, right? What he just said without even realizing it?
Honestly, no.
The killer was wearing the same blue tracksuit as him.
No, that's wrong.
Oh, okay. Okay.
Hold on a second, Mondo. What did you just say?
Huh? What'd I say?
When Celeste testified a few minutes ago, she said...
So saw her stuffing her jacket in a duffel bag. And then I assume she headed off to exercise.
She never said anything about the jacket's color.
Oh, yeah, of course, for fuck's sake, how did I not... You see, like, because this has been going on for, like, almost 2 hours without a lick of a break, I can't sort of, like, think properly now, and it's just so annoying how there's little to no saving involved. Well, no saving involved.
So why did you say Chihiro's blue tracksuit?
What are you... You just...
Hey, Celeste. What color was Chihiro's tracksuit?
As a matter of fact, it was blue.
Oh, you can kind of actually see it slightly down there as well.
And before we began the trial, did you tell anyone that?
The only one I told about any of this was you.
Then, Mondo, how did you know what color Chihiro's tracksuit was?
Because I just...
I'm sure he saw the clothes at some point in the investigation.
No, that can't be it. The bag and clothes were surely disposed of by the time we began our investigation.
Oh dear.
Then the only reason he could have known what color the tracksuit was is if he saw Cherry with it before he died! That's the only possibility!
Cherry?
Yes,
Are you
yes, of
talking
course she
about
is.
Chihiro? So, how about it? Did you see the tracksuit or didn't you?
Just by chance. I just happened to see it last night. He walked past me, and he was carrying the tracksuit in his hands.
No, that can't be it either. According to Celeste's testimony,
She stuffed the jacket into her bag in a hurry. It was almost like she was trying to hide it. And just like that, she was gone.
when Celeste noticed it, Chihiro made a point of making sure the jacket was completely in the bag. If you just ran into him briefly, you couldn't possibly have seen what color the tracksuit was.
It would appear you've dug your own grave.
Oops.
Perhaps. But you handed him the shovel, didn't you? That's why you said what you did. Focus on the tracksuit and it'll be obvious who he met with? What a bunch of nonsense.
Ah, now I understand. It was all one big bluff, wasn't it? Your true intention was to draw a slip of the tongue from the culprit. That's why you said you knew who did it, to put them on edge.
That's right. However, Mondo was my target all along. I had my suspicions about him from the very beginning.
I suppose it kind of makes sense with him and Taka and... I don't know, but he did seem a bit different.
But why? What made you so suspicious?
That's a good question.
The way he was acting. Or not.
And after he was killed, you happened to refer to him as Dude. Once I picked up on that, it occurred to me that Mondo knew something we didn't.
You noticed such a tiny detail?
Are you a witch? She's a witch! You're positively frightful!
No, I'm not the frightful one. Not nearly as frightful as someone capable of murdering a friend.
Mondo,
Wait.
really you?
Wait. So I picked correctly there? If I picked correctly, then wouldn't it have done the, I don't know, thing?
Did you really kill Chihiro?
I didn't kill anyone! You've been all over me, judging everything I say, putting words in my mouth. What gives you the right to treat me like a goddamn criminal?
Yeah! He would never do something like that! This is a false accusation!
It's true. My reasoning on that is pretty shaky.
That was fast.
Well, this does present us with a problem. It seems we are all out of leads.
My time has nearly come. That's what my little ghost friend is telling me.
Oh yeah, that reminds me. Hifumi, weren't you telling me you'd found some evidence?
Oh, yeah, you did.
Really? What kind of evidence?
With Celeste, right?
Actually, now that I'm thinking about it here calmly, it might not help.
Right.
Jeez, does your confidence just get up and walk away? It's fine, man. Just tell us.
If you really insist, then, here it is.
What do you have there?
It happens to be an e-handbook. I found it laying on the ground, so I scooped it up.
Okay. Found it on the ground, right? Then it must belong to... Chihiro's?
I got it! We know Chihiro's handbook was missing from the scene of the crime, right?
For a fact.
For a fact indeed. I was totally sure I'd found it.
Then it must hold some clue about the culprit, right?
Well, that's what I was hoping. But it's busted. It won't even turn on.
Huh.
I imagine the culprit broke it to get rid of any evidence after the murder.
Or maybe it was already broken because it was Leon's handbook, right?
That's odd. I didn't think the handbooks were quite so fragile.
You're right. They're not. They're totally waterproof and shock resistant. It would take an awful lot to break one.
And yet, this one does appear to be broken, as is Leon's, sitting useless in the main hall. For all your confidence, that is a remarkably high failure rate.
Do you think there might be some kind of mystery in there somewhere? How precisely did the handbooks get broken?
That's what I'm wondering. How does the handbook get broken? I don't know. I mean, I suppose I could trade by hitting this weak point.
I got it!
Oh, okay.
You already told us before that the handbook has one weak point, didn't you?
Yeah! You remember that?
I mean, to be fair, I kind of forgot that as well.
Sure, maybe I let that slip. But I never told anyone what the weak point actually was.
But if the handbook is supposed to never break, and two of them broke in quick succession, then
we can only assume that someone's figured out its weakness. You know what the weakness is, right, Monokuma? So, what is it?
You're asking me?
I think it's a necessary piece of information if you want this to be a fair trial.
But if I tell you, and someone else decides to copy it, that would be very not good.
Just tell us already. Why would we want to break our own handbooks?
Oh well, I have a weakness for pushy demands. But you're sure you won't follow their example? Then allow me to make a special announcement. The weak point of my cutting-edge e-handbook is... when it's exposed to high temperatures for too long, it will suffer a meltdown and totally break!
Right. And guess who's been in higher temperature? Taka and Mondo. Oh my god.
I flippin' knew it! You knew it? Yeah, because I found the handbook laying on the floor of the sauna. The temperature in the sauna can reach over 200 degrees. Strange how you don't get burnt, huh? It's because as your sweat evaporates, it creates a cooling layer of air around your skin.
I'm actually new to this information if it's actually accurate and correct.
If the hot air of the sauna were somehow pushed directly onto your skin, you'd definitely get fried. That layer of air would get blown away. That's why you may feel a burning when you move around. So when you're in a sauna, make sure to keep nice and still.
Oh.
Wow, interesting. I learned one new fact today.
That is a mere trifling speck of knowledge.
Anyway, if you found the victim's handbook in the sauna, then the killer must have been purposely trying to raise its temperature in order to break it.
Meaning the culprit somehow knew its weakness.
I mean, who's the one that decided to go for the sauna? It was Mondo, right? It was totally Mondo.
But how'd they find out? Monokuma said he didn't tell anyone, right?
Indeed. Quite the mystery.
What if they found out by accident?
What do you mean by accident?
What if the killer took their own handbook into the sauna, not knowing its weakness? And they'd realize it was broken, of course, and it wouldn't be hard to figure out why.
I love how we were the witness for this. Oh my god, I love how, you know what? I love how things actually connect together and make sense.
And once they had Chihiro's handbook, they knew they had an easy way to dispose of it.
I won't say it's not possible, but who would have done something like that? I don't know of anyone who took their handbook into the sauna.
I might know someone who did.
Whoa, seriously?
I think the one who may have taken their handbook into the sauna was...
He might have brought... I mean, it was either Taka or Mondo. It had to be one who wore all of their clothes in... Mondo then. Mondo. 100% Mondo. It was Mondo. Because Taka actually did take all of his clothes off. Because he didn't... Mondo was so adamant about keeping his clothes on. 100% Mondo then, yeah.
Here's my answer.
100%, yep.
Mondo, your handbook got broken in the sauna, didn't it?
What?
Why? Why do you keep accusing him?
Mondo and Taka had an endurance contest in the sauna not too long ago, remember? And for the contest, Mondo just so happened to keep his school uniform on. But little did he realize, he'd also left his handbook in one of his uniform pockets. And when it was all over, Mondo discovered that taking your handbook into the sauna could easily destroy it.
No, wait, hold on. You've got it all wrong. He would never kill. I don't accept this. Show me the proof. The actual solid proof.
I mean, I don't want to believe it either. But I found something that proves it beyond a shadow of a doubt. Wait, what do we have this time? Broken card reader. Well,
let's test Makoto's assertion. If what he says is correct, then Mondo, you broke your own handbook.
In other words, if Mondo's handbook is actually broken, then that proves that what Makoto said is right.
Well, my goddamn handbook works just fine!
See? Look! Makoto was wrong after all! Mondo wouldn't hurt a fly!
Then that proves that what Makoto said is right.
Well, my goddamn handbook
okay,
works
this one.
just fine!
This one. I hate it so much. I hate it so much.
Well, my goddamn
Okay, so I think I've got to do it like this, right? Okay, I've got to slow it down.
Mondo, the handbook you have right now, is it really yours?
The fuck is that supposed to mean?
The broken handbook that was in the main hall. Isn't that one actually yours?
What the heck are you talking about?
What I mean is, I think Mondo swapped his handbook out for one that actually works.
Ooh.
I think he took Leon's handbook and replaced it with his own. After all, Monokuma said himself that Leon's handbook never should have broken.
Oh yeah, interesting.
That's right! The punishment it suffered wasn't nearly enough to destroy it.
So then, the broken handbook in the main hall is actually Mondo, which would mean that the handbook Mondo has right now is
But doesn't that violate the school regulation that says loaning out your handbook is prohibited?
Well, here's how I look at it. There is a rule about loaning your handbook to another student, but if they're dead, they're not a student. It's kind of a gray area, I admit. But no worries. If anything, it just makes things more interesting.
If you say so.
As such, I decree that exchanging handbooks with a corpse is not a violation of the rules.
Well, Mondo, if I'm wrong about this, you're welcome to say so. I'm happy to admit I made a mistake, but...
Son of a bitch!
What's wrong, bro? Come on! Tell him he's wrong! You are wrong! You have to be wrong! Everything you just said is wrong! You made it all up!
Okay, then why don't we look back on this case one more time, from the beginning? That way, everything will become clear, and we'll all see if I was right or wrong.
Do we have a comic strip? Yes, okay, we got this. I love this. So wait, how do I actually, wait. How do I, wait, how, oh, okay, yeah, that's how, okay. So, wait, is it from left to right or right to left? Oh, so I think this is, yeah, where it first started. So, oh wait, we press on the, okay, so Celeste saw Chihiro in the warehouse with a duffel bag, and do I put that in there? Okay, hang on, let's just, so, what was here? Where did the killer go after they were done? Wait. When the handbook got thrown into the sauna room, what happened to it? Okay. So, I'm guessing... Okay, let's put that there. So, where did the killer go after they were done? Okay, we need to do process of elimination. When Bakuya arrived on the scene, what did he use to disguise what had happened? I'm guessing... Oh, yes, he used that. Okay. I think this is correct. What was it that Bakuya brought to the murder scene? It could only have been... Bakuya brought to the murder... Oh. Extension cord. Yeah. Okay. The killer took something from the other locker room and switched it... Oh, okay. Hang on. So... Switched it. The posters. Yeah. I don't know if this is the right order or not. Which locker room did the killer move to? Girls one. To disguise the truth, the killer switched around the carpet as well as something else. I guess, wait, okay, hang on. So then, that goes there? So wait, took something from the other locker room and switched it. Wait. I don't like how these... That one, and that one are kind of... I don't know, they're the same thing. That's making things even more confusing. The weapon the killer used... Okay, so that one's easy. So, the dumbbell. Okay. Which locker room did Chihiro go into? Oh wait, blood splattered on... Obvious, right, yeah, okay, that does make sense actually. Which locker room did Chihiro go in? Okay, so maybe this one actually goes over to here, right? So there's something everyone has that you need to get into the locker rooms. That's key card? Wait. Oh, wait, no, wait. Hang on. There. Yeah, okay. And now, put this into there. Right, okay. So now, which locker room did the killer move to? Unless, wait. Oh, no, wait. Okay. No, I'm catching up. Everyone. I'm catching up. Right. So, take that out. And, oh, wait. Where's... Right, there we go. Okay, so, right. Put that there. And then, yeah, put that there then. And, of course, yeah, you need this to get in. Yep. So that's sort here in the warehouse with a duffel. Right, duffel bag. Right, of course. Yes, duh. And now, the killer took something from the locker room and switched it. Wait, hang on. Where did the killer go after? Sauna room. Right? Okay, so what's this one? When Bakuya arrived on the scene, what did he use to disguise what had happened? That! Right, of course. And Bakuya... Okay, hang on. So, killer took something from the other locker room and switched it. Ah! Yes, that. That has to be it, right?
The killer is...
Okay.
You!
Okay.
First, let's take a look back to before the incident. Last night, Celeste saw Chihiro in the warehouse, correct? At the time, she was apparently stuffing something into a duffel bag. That something was a blue tracksuit. You can confirm this, right, Celeste? With bag in hand, Chihiro headed out, even though it was officially nighttime. She made her way to the locker room, specifically the boys' locker room.
At least they're using the correct pronouns this time.
But how could the victim, who was apparently a girl, access the boys' locker room? Simple, because she was really a he. Which is why he was able to use his own e-handbook to get an entrance to the boys' locker room.
I know the change of pronouns, great.
Once inside, he met with someone there. And the person he met was the one who killed him. It seems likely that the killer grabbed the nearby dumbbell, approached the unsuspecting Chihiro, and attacked him. And that's where the bloodstains on the poster and carpeting in the boys' locker room came from. It was likely in the heat of the moment. The body was arranged, but the murder itself felt unplanned.
I'm sorry, but the music is reminding me of Futurama right now. Don't know why, but it is.
Which is why the killer hurried to try and hide the act. First, pulling up the bloodstained carpet. Then, removing the bloody poster. And finally carrying the corpse into the girls' locker room. A girl's handbook was necessary to get into the locker room, of course. But this alone doesn't prove that the killer was necessarily a girl. After all, Sayaka and Junko's handbooks had been placed in the main hall. Using one of those, a boy could get into the girls' locker room without much problem. And that's exactly how the killer did it. With the carpet and the poster they brought with them, they got to work. They changed the layout of the boys' and girls' locker room in what you might call a crime scene switch. That could have been the end of things, but no. Byakuya discovered the body and decided to intervene in the situation, making things even more complicated.
Of course he does.
So, after stumbling on the crime scene, he went and grabbed the extension cord from the library, and then he got to work. he used the cord to string up Chihiro's lifeless body. Then, using the victim's own blood, he left a grisly message there at the scene of the crime. He wanted to create the illusion that Genocide Jack was responsible for the slaughter. And around the same time that Byakuya was putting together this facade, the killer, having already disposed of Chihiro's bag and other belongings, arrived at the sauna. There, they planned to destroy the last piece of evidence, Chihiro's handbook. And just as the killer expected, the steamy sauna was enough to ruin the electronic gadget. Somehow, the killer knew that the handbook couldn't stand up to the heat of the sauna. And the reason they knew that is because the sauna had already wrecked their own handbook. And that's how it all played out.
Well,
Isn't that right, Mondo Arata?
I know what's gonna happen next. We've got the bullet time battle soon as well.
Wait! No! This can't be right! Where's your evidence? Yeah! Where's your evidence? You need evidence! You need proof! Without any proof, you can't pin any of this on him!
Evidence that Mondo is the killer. That already revealed itself earlier in the trial. If I can somehow show where Mondo's handbook is right now, once I do that, everything will become clear. Bullet time battles. Okay, let's just do it again. So, let's talk a little bit about fever time and nega time? During a bullet time battle, if you press the space key, fever time will activate and the tempo will be forced to its max. At this point, even if you push the buttons at random, you won't miss. Okay, so you can push R and B, L and B, however you want to destroy the opponent's verbal assault. This only lasts until your focus gauge runs out, so make the best possible use of your time. Of course, it wouldn't be fair if only you got access to the special time, right? So we've also prepared something called Nega Time that your opponent can use. If the opponent activates Nega Time during the bullet time battle, your tempo marker will disappear, making it quite a bit tougher to hit the buttons in rhythm. If you were to activate Fever Time at this point... No, never mind. I'm sure nothing would happen. I don't know what I was worried about. So, but unsurprisingly, if your action difficulty is set to gentle, the opponent won't use Nega Time. Okay. Well then, good luck and have fun. Moment of truth.
Show me some evidence! You're wrong! I won't listen! I refute you! False! Show me some evidence! I won't listen! False! I refuse to vote! Show me some evidence! You're wrong!
Wait, what?
I won't listen! I refute you!
Wait.
False! Show me some evidence! I won't listen! False! You're corrupt! I refuse to vote! I refute you! False! You're corrupt!
Okay.
Show me some evidence! I won't listen! I refuse to vote! Show me some evidence! You're wrong! I won't listen! I refute you!
First...
Show me some evidence!
This should prove it! If my thinking so far is right, Mondo must have replaced his broken handbook with Leon's. In which case, we can just check each of our handbooks right now. Once we do that, we'll...
We don't gotta do that.
Hmm?
Huh?
Yeah. Yeah. I did it. I killed him.
Okay, great. Final result. 69. That is nice.
Bro, what are you saying?
I got no choice, man. After hearing all that, I gotta just give up. Go ahead, Monokuma. Get it over with. Ask for the goddamn verdict.
Roger that.
Wait! Hold on!
No waiting, no holding on. Time for the moment we've all been waiting for. Grab your lever and give it a yank! Who will you elect as the Blackened this time around? Will you make the right choice or the dreadfully wrong one? What's it gonna be? What's it gonna be?
Okay. Alright everybody, we're back, and I really do apologize for that little bit of like a technical hitch. So, past the point of that recording, it got corrupted. I'm not entirely sure how, but it got corrupted, which means you're not going to be able to get my first time reaction to whatever happens after this point, which is unfortunate. But also, you didn't really miss much after this point of the recording, because I was mainly just sort of complaining about not being able to save, and then discovering sometime after the recording that you can indeed save during the class trial. So now I'm actually going to go through all of the stuff before chapter 2 ends with, like, you know, a clear mind and stuff like that, so you guys don't get to see me complain all the time, which is good for you. So here we are. So uh-oh, this time it looks like you got it right again. Yes, it is so. The Blackened that killed Shiro Fushizaki was Mundo.
Unbelievable.
In case you're wondering, the vote was not unanimous. Taka chose the wrong answer. You're treading very close to the danger zone, Mr. Ishimura. You need to be more careful.
What?
I refuse to believe it. There's no way. No way you would kill someone.
Sorry.
What is this?
Why are you apologizing? Why? 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 Why did you do it?
Now then.
Well, it looks like Mundo's taken a vow of silence, so allow me to explain on his behalf.
Actually,
the story of this murder, this time, is the sad story of two men. Oh, but for anyone who doesn't really want to hear it, you can hit Control to fast forward the text. Very meta, Monokuma. Anyway, there was once a young boy, and his name was... Oh right, yeah, of course. You know what, I kind of forgot about this text, but now I'm remembering it. It still feels weird to use he, even though, you know, she died as a she. I mean, okay. In this context, I'm going to use he because, you know, it's the flow of the text, but in reality, she's a she, and we all know that. Also, one thing I'm perplexed by is why she would go for the boys' locker room rather than the girls'. You know what? That's the sort of representation that I don't really like, because it's still treating her like a boy when she's actually a girl, or, you know, because, you know, turned into a girl. So I don't really like how they've portrayed that. I don't know if anyone else feels that way, but I certainly do. He had an extreme inferiority complex regarding his own lack of strength. You're so weak, even though you're a boy. He'd heard things like that as long as he could remember, and he couldn't overcome his weakness. On the contrary, he tried to hide and buried himself further and further into that weakness, to take on the fragile form of a petite young girl. He had chosen that as his way out. Now nobody will be able to say anything about, even though you're a boy. But no matter how tightly he wrapped himself up in that shell, the inferiority complex had already taken root deep inside of him and was not so easily weeded out. As it turned out, the shell was completely empty. The complex didn't disappear, per se. Instead, it only grew stronger and stronger. I'm weak.
Weak.
I gotta admit, my first reaction of this was... This was definitely painful for her. So painful. I mean, it was painful for me. I mean, I still kind of regret not picking her. Because of course this would be more effective and more impactful, but it's still painful nonetheless. Once the killing game had begun here at the school, he had no choice but to accept this fact. After all, this world is a survival of the fittest. If you're not strong, you don't survive. And then the lovely and hateful Monokuma announced the revealing of the embarrassing secrets. Which, of course, included Chihiro's embarrassing secret, which I was more than willing to divulge. Even though he dresses like a girl, Chihiro is actually a boy. And that was something Chihiro just couldn't let anyone find out, no matter their caste. Yeah, it was definitely a more difficult time back then. I mean, it's still a little bit of a difficult time now, but we've progressed a bit, which is good, which is absolutely fantastic and amazing. But it's still really, really difficult, and I still feel for those who struggle through these times. Like, you have my heart, you have my support. If that was revealed, it would be the end. The hardened shell would crack, the armor would fall away. Without doubt, those around him would torture him more than ever before. Everyone figured being thrust into such a dilemma must have sent him spiraling into despair. What? And yet...
I'm sorry. But...
Yeah. The reason why I'm not saying this is because it's already been said before. Annoyingly, he used the threat of discovery to motivate himself to become stronger.
That's right.
Now's my chance.
I want to change.
I'm going to get stronger and accept who I am. Strong enough so that when someone says, even though you're a boy, I'll be okay, I'll get better. With that thought at the front of his mind, he resolved to take immediate action. And so, that day, he made the commitment to begin exercising. He was prepared to retrain his mind and body. But sadly, that would be the first and only chance he would ever get at it.
Hey,
When he decided to start exercising, he thought it would be good to ask for someone's help. But he wanted to tell that person his secret first, and then ask them to help him from there. And the person he went to...
Yeah, that's right.
It was me. It sure was! The biker gang fella had been painfully clear about how important his manly promises were. So Chihiro probably figured that even if he confided in Mondo, his honor would make him keep the secret.
Uh-huh.
Plus, Mr. Macho Mondo was the very symbol of a strong man that Chihiro had always aspired to. Maybe talking to Mondo about it will help give me some courage. So he went and asked Mondo to help him become strong. That was his aspiration. And he thought that only with Mondo's support would he ever be able to come close to that.
Correct.
So then, that must be why Mondo did what he did, to keep the promise he made to Chihiro. Huh? Did what he did? You mean that's why Mondo carried Chihiro from the boys' locker room into the girls' locker room?
Indeed.
That's exactly what I mean. Wasn't that to cover up what he'd done, though?
Certainly.
That could have been part of it, but I don't think it was the main reason. The real purpose was to keep the promise between men he'd made to Chihiro. But how does moving the body keep it secret, though?
Because
Because if everyone knew he had been killed in the boys' locker room, then everyone would have been arguing about how she got into the boys' locker room, right? Once that started up, at least a few of us would have immediately begun to suspect his identity, so he tried to protect Chihiro's secret by putting him in the girls' locker room and to be fair, when I was first going through this, I didn't fully read it properly, only because I was trying to get to like a safe point. So I didn't actually fully read this, and now this makes sense because we know that Byakuya altered the scene. I was thinking, how did Byakuya get into the girls' locker room? But no, Mondo wanted to protect Chihiro's secret by putting Chihiro into the girls' locker room and stealing Chihiro's handbook. Then Mondo did all of that to keep the promise he'd made to Chihiro, who he'd also killed. Why would you do that? Why are you talking? No, I don't understand. I mean, you guys trust each other, right? So why? Why did you? Because no matter what, I didn't want anyone to know.
I knew it.
So that's what triggered it after all. Possibility of, exposed.
What is this?
That's impossible. Nothing could have been that bad. Something you didn't even want anyone to know. Even if it meant killing someone.
You're wrong!
It's impossible.
Don't make me repeat myself.
How many times must I repeat myself, man? To judge others by your own standard is the height of folly. Even if you can't comprehend it. He obviously can, that's all there is to it. Well, while we're on the subject, what did I tell you? That embarrassing memory that he didn't want anyone to know?
Hey,
You know what Mondo really did? He killed his own brother. Mondo, the ultimate biker gang leader, makes all the hoodlums and riffraff across the country tremble. But the only reason he had the chance to join a gang in the first place was because of a certain someone. That looks like VA. That literally looks like VA there. Mondo's older brother's name was Daya Owada. Daya. Mondo had nothing but respect for him. It was because of Daya that Mondo ever got on a motorcycle. Mondo's brother was his only family growing up. He was the only one Mondo could trust or respect. Again, like, okay, that says Vroom, but down there says VA. That just makes me think of a voice actor. I don't know why. He wanted to measure up to his big brother, so he imitated him in everything he did. Aha. Mondo was the epitome of the starry-eyed kid brother. Meanwhile, the charismatic older brother had put together a local motorcycle gang. And before anyone knew it, it had grown into the biggest biker gang in the country. Dang. Daya, the older brother, was number 1 in the gang, and his number 2, his younger brother Mondo. In the beginning, everything was peaches and gravy. But when Mondo started to think about how he would have to take over the gang from his brother someday, his brother's greatness, his reputation, began to gnaw on Mondo's very soul. The kid's gonna take over Daya, huh? Daya created this gang with his bare hands. Mondo's just along for the ride. Can someone like that really be our leader? all that will do is just make the gang look bad. Almost every day, Mondo heard the gossip and whispers all the other members of the gang. Which is why
I just...
I gotta get stronger. Stronger than Taya. Once. Just one time. No matter what, I gotta win.
Don't fuck with me.
I don't care what it takes. I gotta come out on top. And on the night of his amazing brother's retirement ceremony, Mondo challenged him to a street race. But during the race, tragedy struck. The kid brother pushed ahead with a reckless abandon, eager for victory and dashed into the oncoming traffic. But suddenly... Damn, poor brother. I mean, yeah, it wasn't even Mondo's fault. Mondo didn't even murder him. It was just an accident. Laying in his brother's arms, the older brother delivered his final words. My bad, kid. I fucked up. Sorry. Of course he knew his brother. Of course he knew it was his brother's fault, but I never blamed him for what happened. I mean, okay. I guess it was Mondo's fault because of doing the race in the first place, and I guess if it weren't for Mondo getting out of the way, they would both have been dead, maybe. So I guess technically it was Mondo's fault, but. Yeah, I never blamed him for what happened. Hey kid, the rest is up to you. No matter what, you gotta keep the band together. Because as a team, you and me put together. It's a promise between men. He decided to hide the truth of what happened from everyone else in the gang. In order to keep the gang together, and keep the promise to his brother. He could never admit to anyone that it was his own weakness that had caused the accident. And as a result, the team was made even stronger under the banner of the kid who'd bested his big brother. That's an interesting banner to have, I'll say that. Dale was gonna lose to his kid brother, so he got stupid and got killed himself. That became the explanation for what happened. Mondo's lie became the truth. He wanted to lead the team so bad, he was willing to tell all kinds of lies about his brother.
I'm
strong. Strong. And yet... Oh, that was Monokuma. As soon as our killing again began, he realized, no matter how tough he pretended to be, he was just another weakling that could die in an instant. And then the lovely, the hateful Monokuma announced the revealing of the embarrassing secrets. At that point, it was clear that I would have no problem shedding the light on his secret. Mondo killed his own older brother. No matter what, I couldn't let the other gang members find out. If that happened, everything would have been ruined. Everything me and my brother had worked to create would have been destroyed. His death, all the guilt I'd been carrying around, it all would have been for nothing. So that's why. Mondo. After I saw what Monokuma had on me, my head filled up with this kind of fuzzy uneasiness and just started swirling around. I'd never felt anything like it before.
I
didn't know what to do about it. I wasn't sure what to think or say, but after a while, the fuzzy uneasiness turned into something a rock-hard lump of anxiety way down in my stomach. And it was right around then that Chihiro asked me to stop working out with him. I'm right there. He told me a secret. Seriously? Jesus.
I'm sorry.
I'm sorry I lied to you. But why? Why now? Why are you telling me this all of a sudden?
Huh?
Because, I mean, you've kept that secret all this time, right? If anyone found out, you would...
But...
You're right, but...
I want to change.
I wrapped myself in lies. I'm weak. I want to destroy that version of me forever. It was like a knife in my gut. I felt like he was exposing the lie I'd been living myself. I have to change. I don't want to be weak anymore. You're so strong. It can't hurt you, right? Whatever secret Monokuma might tell us.
You piece of...
So what? You're saying I should just say it?
What?
You're saying if I really am, I should just be able to tell everyone my secret?
Huh?
I was jealous. I was jealous of Chihiro's strength. He had the strength to face his own weakness, to try and overcome it. It was the kind of strength I've never had. I was jealous of him. And the jealousy broke me.
What?
Are you making fun of me? I'm strong. Are you fucking with me right now?
No!
No, I'm not making fun of you. You really are strong, Mondo. I felt like I could hear something starting to creak. Something inside my head. What did you want me to do? Was I supposed to do? Was I supposed to just sit back, let my secret get revealed and ruin everything?
What's wrong?
Damn you!
Why did you have to tell me that? Are you trying to rub my failure in my face?
I just wanted to...
I just really admire you. That's all. I admire your strength.
Yeah, that's right.
I am strong. Strong. I'm strong. Strong. Stronger than you.
You son of a bitch!
And I'm stronger than they are. I don't remember anything after that. When I woke up again, he was laying at my feet, covered in blood. I had the dumbbell in my hand, and I was just staring at him, down on the ground. Hey!
I killed him. I killed Chihiro. Even after all this time, I'm still just as weak as I've always been. And thanks to that, I did something I can never take back.
Mondo. He was normally so aggressive, so angry. He hid that weak side away from everyone. That was his secret. A weakness like that lived in a heart like his, and it turned him cold-blooded. God damn it! Look at him, you see? You're just like him. For a secret from the past, from memory. For that, he killed another living human being in cold blood. He couldn't cut free of his regrets from the outside world. He doesn't know what true strength actually is. Do you see hope anywhere in that? Because I sure don't. You bastard! Just shut up, you son of a bitch! Go ahead, say it again. I dare you.
Yep.
Okay, I'll say it as many times as I want. Is what I want to say, but unfortunately I can't do that right now because, you know, the time for punishing is fast approaching. Punishing? Yes, Makoto. The thing that happens at the end of every single class trial for the person who killed the for the blackened.
It can't be.
You mean execution?
Well now.
I sort of promised you, right? The blackened that disturbs the peace will be punished.
Ridiculous.
Hold on.
Now then, I've prepared a very special punishment.
From Mondo Awada, the ultimate biker gang leader. No, wait.
Let's give it everything we've got. It's punishment time!
I said wait!
Sorry, man. I couldn't keep the promise we made. From one man to another.
Oh yeah, you know what? My first reaction to this was that I don't think I've ever seen this before, but I really, really liked it. Now that's a very, very spiral. That was very, very spiraling. And yeah, so the cage of death. Oh my. You know what, I actually never noticed this when I first saw this, that he's not actually like he doesn't have his hands on the actual wheels, on the steering. He's like tied, so it's going by itself. I didn't even realize that. Damn, that is such a way to go out there. He probably, like, I don't know, exploded or something. That is such a way to go out. That's wild. Mondo butter. Well, I mean, at least Monokuma gets a nice meal there. Laugh at death, and your soul will forever be at peace. It can't be. My brother. Another. Oh, that was me. Another murder. And another execution. I want to feel again. Everyone's lives are taken so lightly here. I feel like I might be going mad. Maybe I'll just let it happen. Well, this is definitely gonna affect him the most out of everyone going forward. So that will be interesting. As Tucker's sad screams invaded our skulls, we were each forced to realize once again. But he, of course he had to. What a disappointment. This is the end of the game? Byakuya?
What is this?
You're completely insane, you know that? A game? One of our friends is dead. I mean, technically, not really one of our friends, because we didn't really connect that much. But do you realize that?
Naturally.
Of course I do. Because this game is life or death.
Hey.
I don't have anything to say to you. I don't have a response, except that...
However...
I just don't understand why. Why did you go out of your way to disguise Mondo's crime?
What?
Why? Isn't it obvious? Because it made things more interesting. His voice was calm, emotionless, like the voice of death. It chilled me to the bone. Last night, when the murder took place, I was in the library as usual.
Honestly.
So you ignored the nighttime rule too? That rule never mattered to me. I don't recall agreeing to it. I mean, you're not supposed to just agree to it. You're supposed to abide by it. That's why it's called a rule.
There is nothing to be done.
Well, I don't particularly care. Please continue. The night grew late, and I decided to return to my room, which is when I stumbled upon him. I spotted Mondo coming out of the girls' locker room. After he'd gone, I looked inside and... Oh! So the door was already open, and you just looked inside and dealt with it. What? You mean you actually witnessed the murder? He was such a fool. He didn't have the slightest idea that I had seen him.
Well...
So, you said you knew the culprit was from the very beginning?
That's right.
Indeed, but if that had been the end of it, how boring would that have been? this is exactly why I just don't like Byakuya as a character. I mean, maybe the intention of his character was to be disliked from the beginning, but I just never really liked his character in the slightest. I mean, what a waste of time to have the answer revealed right at the beginning. True. Actually, that's one part of his character that I did kind of like, sort of making us get through the investigation. I just didn't like how he done it. Which is why I decided to lend a little helping hand. I thought it would liven things up a little bit. You did all that to just liven things up?
I see.
So after hearing about Genocide Jack from Toko, you decided to use that to create the fake murder scene?
But
then, man, if we hadn't figured out who'd really done it, you would have been dead too, right? Well, obviously, I would have revealed the truth before it reached that point. I don't know if I believe him in that area. Of course. Byakuya turned and looked me in the eye. I could feel his sharp eyes piercing into me. Thanks to a certain remarkable someone, it never did. And I was able to perform an interesting experiment.
Interesting.
Once I do decide to become blackened, I now know who I'll have to watch out for. Okay. An interesting perspective.
Correct.
So that was your reason. Are you satisfied?
Indeed.
Yes, but don't listen to your fucking story. Moving on.
Hey.
There's something I'd like to ask Monica. Oh, okay.
What's this?
I'm up next. You like to perform these elaborate executions each time, correct? My question is, why? Do you like them? But you know, it's punishment, it's despair. It's not just for you. Always punishment, always despair. It's my gift to mankind. Mankind itself. That's insane.
What?
You're over-exaggerating. You have to be. I am not over-exaggerating. These punishments are meant to transform all hope to despair.
Damn.
What do you mean?
Huh?
Mean? Mean? Mean?
What the heck?
Mean?
Damn it!
Good grief. I don't understand why you have to pick apart every little stupid thing. Whatever. It doesn't matter. In the end, I'm going to stand alone as the victor, and then everything will be revealed to me.
Ooh, how exciting!
It's almost like Monokuma has the hots for Byakuya. The noble son of a noble family. Truly, you understand me. So yeah, those two are very, very much alike, it seems like, anyway. I think this is the start of a terrifying friendship.
That's enough.
I would never stoop to the level of a childish criminal like you. Let me just say this. After I have achieved complete victory, you're up next. I don't know why, but he's acting like a Pokemon champion. I don't know why I picked Pokemon. That's just like the first thing that came to my mind. I'm going to find you. I'm going to hunt you down. And I'm going to kill you. Understand?
In the name of my family.
Togami family, for which victory is a foregone conclusion.
You're getting all riled up!
Ooh, so cool. It's like you're the main character of a video game or something. No trash mark for you. I swear whatever it takes, I'll kill you. Temper. Sounds like someone needs a nap. Monokuma left peeled across the courtroom, and a certain curtain closed on the case of Chihiro Mondo. But I knew that wasn't the end. The killing game would still continue, because the mastermind wouldn't let it end. For those of us who were still alive, our worst fear and despair kept on multiplying. It was the kind of despair that felt like a blind puppy in hell had more of a future than us. All of our courage, our effort, our friendship, it felt like it amounted to nothing at all. It was the worst kind of despair.
Well, anyway, like I was saying...
I feel like Monaco's talking to the mastermind. Oh, look at the cameras in the background. So yeah, obviously, it was very, very, very obvious that he was spying on us the entire time, and that he can just appear anywhere. But yeah, I'm pretty sure that he's talking to the mastermind, who I'm very, very intrigued to actually find out. Discover, by the way.
This is a pretty good spot. Yeah, a really good spot.
The fuck?
Anyway, isn't it amazing how that girl went and killed someone before things even had a chance to get boring?
God. Actually, unless this is like foreshadowing something that happens in the future, or I don't even know what girl we're talking about.
Once things really get moving, it'll be like a roller coaster. There won't be any stopping it. Fear and despair charge forward at a speed nothing can hope to match. But I must admit, I'm disappointed. I went to all the pain and effort of making you part of the group, and you couldn't play your part.
Part of the group. Okay, now I'm confused and intrigued, and I just realized that screen over there looks like coding, and that just makes me laugh.
You do remember you were supposed to make the first move, right? Well, no biggie. Nothing we can do about it now, so just do your best to make things more exciting from now on, okay? After all, that's what everyone wants to see.
This is what kind of confused me the first time round. There's one thing I'd like to ask you.
As long as you don't want to know my measurements, fire away!
Who is it? The 16th high school student, I mean. 16th?
My, you really took me by surprise there.
Because there's... Actually, how many people are there? Well, wait. I forgot how many people are here in total.
I know I said you could ask anything, but... Super denied, ultra denied, demonic denied! Because you see, that's my ace in the hole. And nobody'd be dumb enough to reveal that, right? No matter how close they were to their friends.
That is so interesting, though. Is that like... Whereabouts is that? Is that like in the future? Or... That... 10? I think... There was, 15 to begin with, so it makes sense to say 16th. So who could possibly be the 16th student? That is so interesting. Do you want to save your data? Okay, so yeah. This is actually at the point of the recording that I was like so relieved because I, was able to save my data. So, yes. And this was actually the point where I ended off the recording. I did not go past this part at all. So, this is going to be where I end off this part of the recording. So, I just want to say that despite my original feelings towards this chapter, when I first recorded it, in that recording, I wasn't sure about if I would be continuing on the game because of my feelings towards the class trial. But now that I've discovered this new information and discovered what you can do during the class trial, and because I've now come to this sort of revelation, I'm more than happy to continue with Danganronpa. Now, of course, there's going to be elements in the game that I'm going to be a little bit iffy with, but to be fair, whilst I'm a bit iffy with some of the things that are happening in the game, I still really am enjoying overall. So I will be continuing on the game, and I'll also be playing Danganronpa 2 whenever I finish off this game. But anyway, everyone, thank you so much for watching. I hope you everyone enjoyed, and I shall see you guys next time. Peace out, everybody.